There has been a lot of back and forth over who is truly the greatest Smiling Friends character, and through my extensive research of 2 YouTube polls, it seems like Charlie is by some distance the fan favorite.
This is your final resting place, time's up, Charlie! I'm sorry, I couldn't think of anything to say.
Nah, there's no pressure, man. It's all good. You didn't have to say anything.
And so, in today's video, we'll be looking at why exactly Charlie is so loved. So please, grab a salty deluxe and enjoy. Charlie's family tree isn't exactly what you would call normal, as it's revealed in the Mr. Frog episode that Charlie has an uncle that's responsible for multiple horrific incidents behind the wheel.
You know, I had an uncle who killed an entire family in a gruesome drunk driving accident, and he gave away one of those giant check things, and it was totally fine after that.
However, despite Pim questioning him further throughout the episode, Charlie has an incredibly relaxed response to this whole ordeal.
My uncle had some sleeping pills laying around to help him sleep at night after he rammed his car into a crowd of people.
Your uncle seems to get into lots of car accidents.
Yeah, he loves his cars. He loves his cars.
And not only this, but in the season 1 Christmas episode, when Charlie dies and goes to hell, he sees his very own grandmother. Although, I must say, his grandmother is nowhere near as bad as his uncle.
Oh, my beautiful grandson!
Grandma, what are you doing here?
Oh, I cursed and said, damn, in 1958 when I saw your grandfather being shot in the head by that rotten burglar.
That seems a little bit unreasonable. I don't think you should be in hell for that.
However, despite his family dramas, at least Charlie has a girlfriend called Zoe, who we are first introduced to in the season 1 Halloween episode, as Charlie is trying to do everything in his power to avoid being cancelled.
Charlie, what are you supposed to be?
He doesn't want to dress up as anything.
Listen, I've seen way too many people get their careers ruined over old Halloween costumes. I'm not doing it.
Oh, what's that? She got killed by a bulldozer in between seasons? Oh boy. And honestly, with all of this tragedy and chaos in Charlie's life, it's no wonder that he just wants to be normal. And it's this, in my view, that makes Charlie so relatable. I mean, he's in this wacky, inexplicable world, and he's playing Rust. I mean, need I say more? And Charlie's role as the everyman manifests itself in the jobs throughout the show, with Charlie maintaining a grounded personality, no matter how wacky and weird the task at hand is. And in my opinion, one of the best examples of this is the Enchanted Forest episode, where Charlie's logic-based thinking helps a forest folk named Mip to complete the first of many quests by mending a tree back to health.
Has anyone tried just taking it out?
It came right out, just like you said.
Ooh.
And after this, Charlie goes on an absolute rampage, becoming one of the greatest heroes of all time, with Pim showing his first signs of jealousy in the series, as being a hero in the Enchanted Forest has been a lifelong dream for Pim.
Perhaps one day.
Oh, I love you, Daddy.
Ah, I can't believe after all these years, I'm finally here.
You kissed your dad on the mouth?
However, at this point, we see a side of Charlie that's perhaps not as fantastic as his heroism, and that is his incredibly trusting nature. You see, ever since the beginning of the Enchanted Forest, Charlie has been incredibly trusting of Mip, even going as far as drinking a mysterious potion that Mip gave him that will apparently cure his headache. Although, rightfully so, Pim is far more cautious about this.
Charlie, we don't know who this guy is. Are you sure we can trust him?
Pim, this is Mip we're talking about.
And later on in the episode, Pim and Charlie accidentally push Mip onto a spike before delivering his final package to the princess, which I'm sure has absolutely nothing explosive in it whatsoever.
The whole time?
That's right, Pim is an absolute garbage forest person who's been stalking and trying to assassinate the princess for what seems like years. Although I will say, one of my favorite smiles in the entire series is when the princess realizes that Mip is dead.
Wait, so you said he's definitely dead though, right?
Yeah, he's dead. He's definitely
Yeah, I think he
dead.
melted into goo.
Oh, thank God.
Okay, So perhaps after this daunting experience, Charlie will have his guard up higher and yeah, that doesn't happen. In fact, Charlie in season 2 remains just as trusting as he was in season 1, as the episode in which the boss finds love sees Charlie getting blackout drunk at the wedding before introducing Pim, Alan and Gleb to his new friend, Jumbo.
Charlie, I haven't seen you for like an hour. Where have you been?
Well, guys, you gotta meet this guy Jumbo I just met. He's so awesome.
And not only does Charlie introduce Jumbo, but he also tells Pim that he bought a $600 knife from him, before being adamant that Jumbo should be the 5th smiling friend.
Pim, I'm telling you, man, I think this could be the 5th smiling friend. Jumbo, Pim, Charlie, Alan, Gleb, Jumbo.
However, once more, Charlie's trusting nature comes back to bite him, as the $600 knife that Charlie bought from Jumbo turns out to be fake.
Charlie, this is a fake knife.
What?
Yeah, it's one of those plastic knives that retract, see?
Oh my god.
With Charlie having absolutely no way to contact Jumbo, as he's deleted everything and moved to New Jersey. And boy, Jumbo, you really messed up. You could have been the 5th smiling friend, man. As previously mentioned, Charlie had a girlfriend throughout season 1 called Zoe, who tragically died in a bulldozing accident in between seasons. However, even throughout season 1, Charlie wasn't exactly always faithful to Zoe, as going back to the Enchanted Forest episode, before Mip is revealed to be an evil stalker, he and Charlie have an incredibly intimate moment after Charlie has completed all of the quests.
Well, maybe it was your song that helped me become a hero. Well, maybe I like that.
And so, it's canon, ladies and gentlemen. Charlie is officially bi. In fact, a lot of people online also talk about the Simon S. Salty episode, in which Pim and Charlie find a secret room, and it looks like they want to kiss each other at the end of the scene.
Secret room!
However, I personally think this one might be a bit of a stretch, as Pim and Charlie have never really shown that kind of interest in each other. But of course, let me know in the comments, what do you think? However, one potential affair that is undeniable actually comes from the same episode, as when Charlie and Pim are investigating the murder of Simon S. Salty, the mustard mascot tries her hardest to seduce Charlie, with Charlie almost instantly giving in to this seduction.
You like to have fun too?
I mean, you know, you're asking about me? I mean, yeah, I like fun, yeah. You know.
Oh, yeah?
I already said yes.
And if it hadn't have been for Pim, Charlie most definitely would have, continued to do what he was doing.
You all done here? I think we just have one last interview left.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all done here.
And despite his rather checkered history of infidelity, Charlie is still able to have a happy ending romantically. Well, at least in Pim's world, as in the season 1 episode Shrimp's Odyssey, after Pim sees who he believes to be Shrimpina, he falls into a deep sleep imagining their life together.
After this date, I'm sure Shrimpina will realize who she's meant to be with.
And during this sequence, we also see what all of the smiling friends will look like when they're older, including a nearly deceased boss, a President Glep, Fat Alan, and Charlie, who is accompanied by a rather young, beautiful South American lady, proving that after all of these years, he's still the ladies' man he always was. Although boy, someone check on Charlie. I mean, he looks like he could run for president. Okay, so one of the main perceived flaws in Charlie's personality is his pessimistic attitude towards his surroundings, with even the narrator in the season 1 Christmas special telling us that Charlie is an unsavory character.
They were all in the holiday spirit. That is, except for one nasty yellow one.
However, if you take a look at what exactly annoys Charlie, then it all starts to make more sense. I mean, take for example, in this same Christmas episode, the boss comes in 5 minutes before Charlie, Pim, Alan, and Gleb are supposed to get off work, and he tells them to go out into the freezing cold and chop down a tree for them. And not only that, but he's asking the boys to do this on Christmas Eve.
I just need a Christmas tree for the office.
That sounds marvelous! A Christmas adventure!
Come on, seriously? It's Christmas Eve, man. I was just about to go home.
And yeah, if that was me, I'd be pretty annoyed too. And Charlie also gets annoyed at the wacky and zany characters in the Smiling Friends universe, such as his hellish form of entertainment, and of course, the witch that takes Charlie and Pim right back to the beginning of the Enchanted Forest.
Where are we?
Did I pick the wrong hand?
Oh, we were right there, man!
Although one thing I won't stand for is Charlie storming off when Smormu was democratically elected to be the 5th Smiling Friend.
It's Smormu! You voted and we listened! This cannot be undone! Smormu is here to stay!
And speaking of politics, Charlie, like many younger people today, is very defeatist when it comes to the political world, simply choosing to believe in neither side and that all politics are rigged, with normal people not having a chance to change the political climate.
Who are you gonna vote for, Charlie?
I don't vote. Okay, I'll tell you why right now, Pim. Listen up very carefully. Little guys like you and me, we're called peons in this world, and we don't decide who the president is.
And this actually plays out in a brilliant way, as Charlie's conspiracy that the government controls everything is proven right, with the secret society of worms wanting to rig the election so that Mr. Frog wins. Well, that is, until they realize that frogs eat worms, and then immediately, they do a 180.
We're totally gonna support President Jimble now. He doesn't eat worms, he only eats lamb.
With my favorite moment in the entire episode coming from when the worms eject Charlie back onto the street.
Decision's final, goodbye!
And so, not only do I think Charlie isn't a pessimist, but in fact, I see Charlie as an optimist. However, just in a very different way to which Pim is. You see, as opposed to Pim, who is an optimist all the time, Charlie is much more of a situational optimist, meaning that when things make sense and serve purpose in his life, that is when Charlie will truly be passionate. And we see this best in the Mr. Frog episode, as Charlie responds incredibly passionately as Mr. Frog is cancelled.
Replace his character. Man, they can't just replace Mr. Frog like that. It's his show.
I don't know. He seems pretty controversial.
Yeah, unfairly. He needs our help now more than ever.
And thus, when the boss comes in and tells Pim and Charlie to make Mr. Frog smile, Charlie is more than happy to oblige.
Well, if you boys are so interested, why don't you go help him out?
You know what, Mr. Boss, you sound kind of crazy sometimes, but I think I like that idea.
And we also see this unfold in Season 2, both when the boss is possessed by the succubus, and also at the start of an Alan adventure, when the boss seemingly gives Pim and Charlie the greatest mission to ever exist.
Holy moly! This is gonna be the coolest job ever!
Yeah, you know what, Pim? Usually you and I have, like, opposing views on stuff, but I think we're on the same page on this one, man. I'm genuinely excited.
And honestly, this is why so many people, including myself, love Charlie. As no matter how many psychopaths force him to wear a maid costume, or how many wacky and crazy adventures he's sent on, Charlie is always there, and he's always unapologetically himself.
How do I look, yellow man?
You look like you're about to tell your friend not to come to school tomorrow, man.
In fact, Charlie has even gone with the Smiling Friends to both Brazil and China, with the trip to China seeing Charlie honoring the last wishes of the century egg in the Simon S. Salty episode.
Did we have to come all the way to China to do this?
It's what the egg wanted, Alan.
And so, does all of this make Charlie the greatest Smiling Friends character? Well, quite possibly, yes. But of course, let me know in the comments who is your favorite Smiling Friends character. And if you're enjoying the content, make sure to subscribe. And also, Smiling Friends Season 3 is officially confirmed. And honestly, I just really want to see the landlord and DJ Spitz return to terrorize Alan.
Alan, you will hang out with me again?
And as always, stay happy, stay safe, stay Charlie.